everyone. Welcome to the Seeds of Success podcast, hosted by Dottie San Martin and myself, Orly Rivera. This show is your weekly dose of knowledge, insights, and actionable tips to transform centers into striking successes. Whether you're a seasoned industry professional or just stepping onto the lanes, we've got you covered. So, Dottie, I was just minding my own business here, working hard as always, and you and Brandilynn start messaging me saying you want to record, which I'm always open to record because I love podcasts and you know that, and I love having different guests. So first off, welcome to the show, Brandilynn Hubbard. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
And Brandilynn, I'll let you give us your title and what you do within the company.
Well, I work for the online learning services team. My title is long and I always mess it up. So we'll leave it at that. Online learning services team. So I help to build all of the online training content, host the virtual sessions that we do for you guys on Zoom. I'll create any documents that you might be using to help you set up your center. That's all me and my team.
And you know, something with me that you two like to do that I'll be honest, I don't love to do is you both talk about reading a lot. I know Brandilynn loves reading books, and Dottie, you're always reading some kind of articles, and that's how this kind of kicked off today. You said, hey, can we do a show? I was reading something. So I'm just going to let you take it from there and tell me what we're getting into.
Yes. You know, I think both of you know, I love to start my day with a big cup of Starbucks coffee and going through what's trending, what's hot in the market and so on and so forth. And I recently read an article about meeting customers where they're at. And it really sparked some interest in me because it is so important for us to really listen to our customer and understand what their needs are. And we, as the three of us, are a part of the services team at Cubica AMF. I thought, you know what, this is just really great. Because I do feel like that we are constantly looking for that way to make things easier for our customer, to make sure that we're reaching the customer in a way that they're able to comprehend what we're trying to deliver to them. And so, are you guys game for that? Let's have a conversation about meeting our customer where they're at.
Absolutely.
You know me, I always like to talk, so it could be about anything.
Yes, absolutely. So, you know, as I started thinking about it and was reading through this article, the services team, we really try very hard to provide customers with the tools that they need to be successful with the products that they have, right? And an example of that is, Brandilynn, you know, when a customer gets a new product in their center, be it a new kiosk or be it a new scoring system, they have tools that are available, the training tools and online resources that are available to help them understand what they need to operate that piece of equipment or that scoring system, correct?
Correct. So, I mean, and obviously everybody's different and it all depends on what you purchased and how, you know, what you set up with your salesman. But for the most part, when people purchase training, they also have access to online training. And I feel like that's something that people just don't realize that they have. So we have courses on this platform called Litmos. And I'm sure if you know what I'm talking about, you know all the emails that you get from them. But these courses can walk you through so much of the basics so that before your trainer even gets on site, you already have that correct mindset. You know all the quote unquote easy stuff.
Yes.
And then when they get there, they can just jump right in. They don't have to sit there and take you through all the stuff you could have learned on your own. And now you're able to jump into the more advanced things. You have time to deep dive into the advanced modules.
Yeah, I was going to say, and something you mentioned there is like, if you're kind of like studying that before, even when they come in, if they are talking about that stuff again, it's going to go a lot smoother and faster, and you're going to kind of understand what they're saying. You're not going to kind of be lost. I learned that in school, you know, they used to say to study, and sometimes I wouldn't, and I'll take a test and I'm like, this was super hard. But then when you study and you take the test, it's actually kind of easy. So that's kind of what you're saying there.
Pretty much, yeah. And I mean, when the trainer gets there, they're going to go through it either way, but it's how fast they can go through it. Now you guys can spend the majority of your time working on fun things, like setting things up that work best for your center.
Yes. And two things I want to mention about that. First of all, it is online. So you're able to do it. If you're working a long shift and you get home and you've got a few minutes to unwind before you get ready to go to bed, this is a great opportunity to log in, take a few courses. And it also prepares you so that you go into your training with questions you might have from what you've learned in your online learning. So I think that's really important too, because if you wait till the trainer gets there, notoriously what's going to happen is once that trainer leaves, then you're going to have some questions. But if you do your courses ahead of time, you're already going to go into that training and you're going to have questions lined up for them. So you're going to be able to get the best experience and the most, successful results of the training, on-site training, that is.
Absolutely. That's a really good point because, the classes are fairly quick too. It's not like they take too much time, but it's the fact that you can do it in your own time. And then we have a little knowledge checks along the way. So we'll do a little knowledge check. And if you get those answers wrong, now you know what to ask your trainer.
Yes. And if I remember correctly, Brandilynn, those courses can be started, and then if you need to, step away and take care of something, you can come back. Am I correct, or am I mistaken on that?
No, that's correct. So, say you get through like 2 out of 5 modules, that's fine. It'll pick right back up where you left off.
Yes, that's amazing. And to do it at your convenience, that's even better.
Oh yeah, it is completely asynchronous. There's no instructor. If you have any issues along the way, obviously we're all here for you. You could reach out to us. Mm-hmm. If you send a message within Litmos, the online learning services team, we get that and we answer you. But for the most part, you're not waiting on anybody to do anything. It's all on your time.
Yeah, and speaking of instructors, though, one of my favorite things I know you guys do is just some of the online, I don't know if you call it online, but the virtual trainings with a trainer, or sometimes I know you have Ask the Trainer, and there's a couple different things. I'll let you share that. But I've jumped on before just because it's always good just to, Dottie and myself talk about this before, just kind of continuing education, learning stuff. Either maybe there's a new way to do something, or just maybe somebody does something a different way. And then also just when you have customers on there and they ask certain questions, I like to steal those questions and use them for Tech Tip podcast. So I love joining those. So if somebody ever jumps on one of those, you might see me in there sitting in the back of the class there. But I don't know if that's something you could talk about too, Brandilynn.
So yes, the virtual classes, we host those every other Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Like Orly said, we have a lot to choose from. I know this week alone, we have a Conquer MMS class. We have a Best NV Scoring Exclusive Features class. But the one I really want to focus on that I think everybody, if you have the opportunity to go, you should, is our Ask the Trainers. Now, these are just open door classes. You can come and go throughout the hour as your schedule permits and ask us any either bowling or Conqueror related question that you might have. And for the most part, we're always able to get it answered because we have a max training specialist right there with us. If for any reason we can't answer it though, we have all of the contacts to get you directly what you need and who you need it from. So it's just a great opportunity to get some, not one-on-one because there's going to be a couple of you in there, but you'll be able to ask your question directly to a trainer. There's no phone call. There's no calling in to, say, calling tech support or anything or messaging your salesperson. You can come in, ask the trainer, and if we can't answer it, we will find somebody that can for you.
Yeah, no, that's a great thing because, how many other businesses do that where you could just say, hey, call me up and ask questions if you want, or hey, you want to check in and we'll answer some things. There's a lot of times where I buy something from somebody and I don't hear from them ever again, or just when they want me to buy something else. But I love the fact that you can go in there and get some more training or just freshen up. And it's even, like I said, I like to freshen up on things, but even as a customer, if there's something you've been doing for, you've had this system for a while and you see they're talking about it again, check in again. Maybe something's changed. Maybe something's gotten easier. Maybe somebody else is mentioning a different way that they do it. It might help your center do it, maybe it'll work out a little bit better for you. So yeah, I think they're great. It's one of my favorite things.
So I also want to mention, Brandilynn, you're talking about these classes. You're talking about online learning and the classes and the Ask the Trainer and stuff. Those are all available in the Cubica Maximization Resource Library. So you can have access to the entire calendar of upcoming sessions. And speaking of maximization resource library, it is loaded with all kinds of, not just training documents and how-to videos, all sorts of things that you can, go through and read and watch on your own. It's got all sorts of technical documents. If you need help doing something from a technical standpoint, there's all sorts of material available for that as well. It's just loaded with resources, and it's super easy to navigate. It's super easy to find things and search. And also it has an entire section on marketing kits for all of our products. And when we say marketing kits, we're talking about professionally designed marketing material that's ready to use. You just put your logo on it and you're ready to go. And there's, that's really a huge benefit for our customers. And talking about meeting customers where they're at, we recently, in the marketing world of Cubica AMF, we recently did a little bit of a change or something where we actually did meet the customer where they're at. We found that many of the customers wanted to create marketing material on their own. They loved what we had done, but they wanted to do a different project, or they wanted to do a promotion with a specific feature. So we've recently included what we call design toolboxes. And those toolboxes are loaded with things that your marketing department is going to love. It's got all the logos, it's got images, it's got video clips, all the things that you need to create your own branded marketing material. So we were listening and we met our customers where they're at because that's what they wanted. So yeah, lots of tools for the customers.
Absolutely. And, we're talking about all this stuff in the Cubica AMF Maximization Resources Library. And I think a lot of people don't realize where to access that. So if you don't mind, I just want to kind of explain how you get to it real quick.
Of course.
So most of you're going to have access to the Q portal for the most part. So in the Q portal, there's multiple sections. The very second section, services and resources, there are 4 different buttons there, and they all take you to the different sections of that site. So you have the training resources button, the live virtual trainings where you're going to see the list of classes we went over and how you can register for them, marketing resources, and technical resources. So it's very easy to get to. You just log into your Q portal and click on which section you want to see.
Yes, that's great. And again, it's cloud-based. So you can do it from your phone. You can do it from Starbucks. You can do it in the middle of the night. It doesn't matter. It's very, very convenient.
Yes.
And another, we have all sorts of things. This, we're a little biased because we work for Cubica AMF. But it's amazing to me the different resources that are available. And that's really one of the reasons we're doing this podcast is our customers need these things. And a lot of times they may not know what all is available, but it's just as amazing to me to know how many things are available. We do a blog. It's called Best Extras blog. And it is a compilation of all kinds of ideas to help you run your business and to keep planting those little sparks of creativity in your brain and helping you understand how to use certain features. So if you're listening, go to bestextras, BESXTRAS.com. Super easy. And you will go right into our marketing blog. Just like the podcast that you're listening to today, Seeds of Success, we do these to help spark an idea or give you a tip or whatever to help you be successful. We also have another podcast called Tech Tip. And Orly, I'll let you take it from there because you're the king of Tech Tip.
Yeah, that's my favorite podcast. Not just because I'm the host, but actually it's because I'm the host. But anyway, yeah, Tech Tip Podcast. It's just a podcast, where each week I have a different trainer on. Maybe it's a trainer, maybe it's somebody from tech support. I've actually had Brandilynn on before to talk about something on there also. And we cover everything from something simple, something that might be simple to one person, whether it's, maybe your touchpad went black. How do I reset it? Something as easy as that. Or maybe how can I leave a message for my staff to see in the morning when they log in to Conquer? And something as difficult as how to change something out, or if your computer's not doing something specific, or even when just to update them. And we cover a bunch of different things, and it's great. If you've ever had a trainer in your center, that, and tech support, they don't come in your center, but if you've ever worked with tech support, those two positions are lifesavers. Tech support, when you're calling on the phone, you have an issue and they help you fix it, or a trainer when they're there training you and teaching you how to use your products. We joke a lot and say, I know, and I personally have had this happen in a center where you don't want to let the trainer go. You almost joke and say, well, sometimes it's not a joke, but hey, what do I have to do to get you to come work for me? Because you would love to have that trainer with you all the time. So it's two very important people that come on, two different important positions that come on, and they share great information each week. And that's available just like the Seeds of Success podcast. It's available on all podcast platforms. Just search Tech Tip Podcast. And yeah, it's a great show. I love it. It's very helpful. And I learned so much, and I know the customers learn so much. And if you ever just have a topic you might want us to cover, feel free to email us, write us on our Beyond the Frame Facebook page, or you could email me. It's O and then RIVERA @cubicaamf.us. And if you ever have a topic, feel free to send it my way, and I'll find somebody that can cover it. And yeah, I think it's a great tool.
I do have another way that you can share. So if you are a CMP member, you also get once a month our resources newsletter. And in this newsletter, we send you the latest Seeds of Success podcast, the latest Tech Tip podcast, the latest blog. We're going to let you know the next 3 upcoming classes. And we're going to drop in a couple of resources that have been posted to that Cubica AMF Maximization Resources library. And on top of that, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a survey. And if you click on that, you can tell us everything that you want to see. You can let us know whether you'd like to see it as a document, a video, a blog, a podcast. So there's a couple ways that you can get in touch with us for sure.
Yes, that's absolutely great. I always look forward to that coming out. There's a couple of other things that I want to mention. First of all, Orly, you said about reaching out to tech support. I want to mention, another opportunity here that we were listening to the customer and we're trying to meet the customer where they're at is sometimes instead of calling on a phone, it's easier for a customer because they already have their cell phone in their hand to chat. To just go back and forth in text and with customer support. That is an actual real live person. It's not a bot. We're not a bot. We're not a bot company right now. So we are actually giving you the opportunity to chat live with a technician, and that's really good. It also gives you the ability to snap a quick picture and send it to them right away. It's just super, super convenient. Again, it may not be for everybody, but again, we're trying to meet our customers where they're at. So that's really important to keep in mind. Absolutely. The other thing I want to mention is, Brandilynn, we've got this resource newsletter. We've got our CMP. We've got our blog. And Conquer Maximization Resource Library is not just U.S. based. We have documents. We have marketing material. We are a worldwide company, and our international customers are super important to us. So that resource library has translations in there. Our blog is translated into just about whatever language you're looking for by simply going up and selecting your language when you get to the home page. And so our listeners out there, our Seeds of Success listeners that are in various places of the world, we hear you. We're trying to meet you where you're at. And so as time goes on, we are finding more and more opportunities to make sure that we are reaching that international market. So if we've not got something just yet, just stay tuned because you are an important part of what we do. And we are trying to broaden our services to make sure that we are covering everything for our international friends. So awesome, including our resources newsletter, which I understand will be going international very soon. So
yes, it will.
Yes, very, very exciting. So listeners, thank you so much for being a part of today's Seeds of Success. Brandilynn, thank you for taking time to share some of these resources with us. With decades of industry experience, we are honored to share ideas, strategies, and trends designed to help entertainment centers like yours thrive and grow. Together, we're planting the seeds for a stronger, more successful future. Share this podcast with your team and industry friends, because the more seeds we sow, the greater the harvest. Until next time, let's continue to build success, one happy guest and one incredible experience at a time.